Hi everyone, and welcome back to Little Henham. I'm sorry it's been a long while since I last did a video, but I've been incredibly busy at work. I've also been on holiday out to Venice. I haven't been back long, so I thought it was about time I did another video. So sorry that I haven't done one since the end of May, but now that I am back, I will be cracking on with the layout. And in the next few weeks you'll see a lot more videos and a lot more development to the layout. So this time I thought I'd start off with a shot of where my layout is housed. As you can see, it's at the bottom of my garden here, and I'm slowly having this building completed, and I'm trying to fashion it on a Great Western Railway waiting room. As you can see, along the edge of the building there, I've had a platform put in with edging, etc. And later this year I'm having the lawn actually dropped, so that the platform will be proud of the lawn and it will look like a proper platform. And on top of the building there will indeed be a shark tooth canopy going on, to make it look more stationish. So this is where Little Henham, the railway layout, is based, and let's go and see what I've done to the layout since the last video. Okay, here we go. This is where Little Henham normally resides, and there's the layout that you've all come to know quite well. Now, as I've been away, obviously I haven't done too much to the layout, but there is a couple of things that I am going to show you this morning which I have done since being back. One is on the layout, and one is something which goes on the layout. So our first port of call is this little group of buildings here. Okay, so the last time I did a video, I was just finishing off this building here. This time I've gone for an old bakery, because I didn't have a bakery on the layout. And if you remember, or if you look at the last video, this was literally just in the mounting board stroke card formation, and that's as far as it's got. As you can see now, I've added the name sign, a chimney and the roofing. To the side of the building I have now also added a little ladder for the guy that's trying to escape from the window, as you can see there. The basic structure is made out of artist's mounting board, and if I just turn that around slowly, you can see that on the back the board is flat, so it fits flat against the backboard, and underneath again it's been given a flat surface so it sits nicely on the layout. And to the front I've just literally added the windows, the roofing and the name board. Once it's complete, all we do, we literally just slot that in there, and there we have another completed section of the railway. Okay, the second thing that I have been working on is more of an experiment more than anything else, but I think it's worked quite well. It's not actually a building or a railway loco, but is indeed something for the traction engine rally, and is this little item here. So let's take a closer look at this and show you what I've done. So for the traction engine scene on Little Henham, which is based on one of the sliding boards that I've made, I'm slowly collecting models of traction engines and doing them up in various conditions, and then they will go on to the finished layout. The basis of this is I'm mainly using the Matchbox stroke Lesney traction engines, showman engines and road rollers. These can be bought very cheap off of eBay, and normally they come in this condition that you see here. Usually a bit scratched, a bit shabby, there's bits missing, but at the end of the day they are cheap and you can turn them into something better. So let's take a look at this one first of all. This is the Lesney traction engine. As you can see, the front door is missing, the paint is peeling, it is scratched, there's bits missing off it, the flywheel is missing off the side here, but we can still do something with it. The first thing I've done with this is to have a good look around it to see what needs to be done, and I will replace the flywheel which has come off the side there, and it obviously needs a smoke box door. This particular model I am going to actually use on the layout in a scene to make it look like there's a traction engine sitting in somebody's yard, or it's actually being in the process of restored. If we take a look inside the smoke box, you'll see that I've already put an added feature in. I haven't bothered to replace the smoke box door on this engine, but instead, by using cotton buds, taking the cotton wool off the end, cutting them down to the right length, I have then placed them inside the smoke box, and in turn try to replicate what boiler tubes look like inside a traction engine's smoke box. I think the effect has come out quite well, and that's all they are. Cotton buds cut down to size, and then I've painted them in genuine real red oxide paint. Inside the cab, or the standing platform on the traction engine, again at some point I will put a floor in here and add on the flywheel which is missing, or even lean the flywheel against the loco to make it look like it's been taken off and it's actually being restored. In its present form though, it does lend itself quite well to being an engine which is under the process of being done up. We'll now take a look at another version of this model which I also have, where I have indeed restored it from this kind of condition to what I would call the next stage. And the next stage is probably how the Lesney stroke Matchbox traction engine would have been presented when you bought it new. So let's have a look at what happens when you can restore these to their original condition. And there we go. This is probably how the model was originally sold, going by pictures that I found of it. As you can see, I have replaced the flywheel, I've given it a repaint, and the smoke box door is back on. As you can see, I've also tried to pick out certain parts of the model in gold paint to try and replicate brasswork, and I've done that just underneath the loco near the firebox. And also on top of the model, around the top of the chimney and along the top of the engine there. I've also picked out the smoke box door, which was replaced, and I've picked that out in gold as well. And again, that just finishes off the model quite nicely. I've also added in a firebox as well by putting a piece of card on the back of the standing platform there, cutting a hole out and then colouring it in such a way that it represents a fire within the firebox. And there you go. As you can see, we now have a nicely painted model, and once they're done up, it does give you variety in your traction engine scene. If you go to traction engine rallies, you do indeed see the real engines, which are highly polished. Some are almost in as found condition and dilapidated and need doing up. So, but by doing this to a model, you can be quite creative and give diversity to your model railway by having different engines in different stages of restoration. So this is phase 2. You can now go on to phase 3 if you wish, and we'll have a look at that now, because these models can indeed be further enhanced even further. This particular model, all it really needs now to finish it off would be a engine driver, and the loco drivers and firemen that you get from Prizer or Bachmann or Knock, which supposedly go into the railway locos, you could indeed pop one in here and it wouldn't look out of place. So that's another little added feature that you can do. So let's now look at the third stage of these traction engines and what you can do with them. Okay, now again on this model, this has been enhanced even further. Using the previous model as a basis, I have now repainted this model. I've added an engine driver in the back, and I've detailed various different parts of the loco. In this particular case, I've chosen to go for the deep maroon colour. This is my favourite colour of traction engine. I often go to the shows and you see Burrells often painted in this colour. Over a period of time, I'm going to have quite a few of these models, and they'll all be painted in different colours, but all colours which you would genuinely see at a traction engine rally. So let's have a look at this model in a little bit closer detail. Okay, so the first thing you notice is the change of colour from the green to the maroon. I have then added a driver in the back. This particular driver I believe came from the Knock range, and he's a little bit tall, but I think he fits in there quite well. Now the way that the driver is fitted in is I fitted a floor into the standing platform on the traction engine and then simply glued the figure in. The wheels on the traction engine, I rubbed them down slightly just to make them a little bit more smooth, and then just used some very, very thinned down silver paint from Hummel, and then painted the wheels to give the metal effect. Once again, I have painted various different parts of the loco in gold, including the chimney top, around by the cab area, once again to give the impression of brass. The spokes of the wheels have been repainted in the same colour as the boiler, in the maroon, and then the centre of the axles has been encoated in black to bring the detail of that out. The smoke box and its door have again been painted in the black, only partially along the length of the boiler, as per a photo I saw of a barrel. The flywheel has again had its spokes painted in the maroon, and the edge of the flywheel has been painted black. Quite often I've seen these flywheels on traction engines painted black, mainly because if they're working farm machinery and the belt is on there, they end up becoming black anyway. So I've painted that black, and again the axle stub for that has been so treated. The steering wheel of the traction engine has been painted in a silver colour to represent metal, and quite nicely the figure I've chosen had his arm in a poseable position, which lends itself to making it look like he's actually driving it. And lastly, the cab has been finished off by having a black edging on top, and the rear of the loco is painted in the same maroon. So there you have it, a cheap model to buy on eBay, which can be enhanced to whatever detail you require. Either keep it in a looking like it needs to be restored condition, or go right through the 3 stages and end up with a model which looks like a traction engine at a show, which has been completely restored and is ready to rally. These models make good usable items on a model railway, and I'm quite pleased with how this one has come out. I'll be interested in your comments to see what you think of this, and if you like the idea, it'd be great if more people could do this, because it's just something to enhance your model railway. So let's just have a quick look at all 3, just to see what you can go from and to. So you can go from this to this, and the amount of work this takes is probably 2 days work in order to give the paint a really good drying time. But in 2 days you have a nice model. Okay, and there you have it. That's my idea for the Lesney stroke Matchbox traction engines and how you can enhance them. In a following video, which I hope to do in the near future, I will then turn my attention to the Showman's engine and then do a similar process for that, and then we can have a look at the results of that, and then the final video on the traction engines will be when I do the road roller, and we'll again have a look at that and see how that comes out. Eventually you end up with a nice little fleet of road rollers, traction engines and Showman's engines in various different conditions, which you can use on your layout. Okay, so that's it this time round for Little Henham. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers for keep tuning in, and there will be a new video soon, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, and by that time I would have done more to the layout and I'll have more to show you. and on top of that there will also be some more running sessions. So thank you for watching this time round. Let me know your comments on what I've done so far, especially the traction engine idea, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you very much. Bye now.